But, Rob, let's return to these NBA Finals. Of course, last night, the Denver Nuggets win their first NBA championship. Nikola Jokic, very deserving of the Finals MVP. Rob, his numbers for the playoffs, 30 points, 13 rebounds, 7+ assists a game. And everybody is talking about where does he rank with the all-time great centers. His teammate, Michael Porter Jr., weighed in with a hot take, blazing hot. Here he is.
I mean, Nikola, he led us all playoffs with his passing some games, scoring other games. This was a historic run. I don't know how you could say he's not the best big man ever, really. Like, he's one of the all-time great basketball players. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's one of the all-time best players to ever play this game.
Okay, we have given Jokic his flowers, and we will continue to do so. But Michael Porter Jr., stop it! Now, I agree with you that Jokic is an all-time great player. He's one of the best players ever played the game. But the best big man ever? I think not. I mean, come on. Michael Porter Jr. is young. He's 24. Maybe he's not a student of the game. Rob, we've talked about this before. We've come across a lot of players.
But they don't know who came before them. They have no clue. I think the famous one is
tell the Lenny Wilkins. Yeah,
Shaq and Lenny Wilkins. When Lenny Wilkins was coaching one of the international teams, because I don't know if it was the Olympics or he was an assistant coach, and Shaq said, "Hey, coach, you know a lot about basketball. Did you ever play?" Lenny Wilkins is on the top 50 list with Shaq. The top 50 NBA players of all time.
He was in the photo, Shaq, with you.
Yes.
Shaq there?
Did I play?
I don't know if he was there, right.
Did I play? Shaq didn't show up, but did I play? Right. I mean, you got to know who came before you, Chris. Come on. We know great broadcasters and writers, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do.
All
right, Rob, I will say this, though. I think Nikola Jokic is undoubtedly a top 10 center of all time. And I'm going to give some rankings. Number 10, George Mikan. And I know he played way, way, way back, but he did win, I believe, 5 championships. So you got to give him some love, right? 50 years from now, we don't want people to discount Shaq and Jokic and David Robinson and all these.
And if you do that with George Mikan, that's what you're going to do to Shaq and those guys. So
right.
I'm with you. You cannot discard the past that easily and act like, well, they were wearing Converse. They didn't even have arches in their shoes. You know what I mean?
Converse and Pro Keds.
And Pro Keds.
All right, number 9, Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. Remember the announcer in Madison Square Garden? Patrick Ewing.
Yes. Number 8, David the Admiral Robinson. Number 7, Nikola Jokic. Number 6, Moses Malone. Number 5, Hakeem Olajuwon. Number 4, Wilt Chamberlain. Number 3, Shaquille O'Neal. Number 2, Bill Russell. And honestly, I've those 3 I've moved around quite a bit over the years. But, Russell, Rob, 11 rings. They didn't start winning until he got there. They started losing as soon as he left. He was the hub. But it was easier, as you've said, and I've said too, to win back then. A lot of those playoffs, Rob, he played 2 rounds. And number 1 center of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I got Jokic 7th all time, Rob. And I think Olajuwon and Moses, he may catch them, depending. We'll see what he does going forward. But any problems with where I ranked the Joker?
No, I mean, it's just too premature. As great as he was for this could be it. I mean, like, Chris, that's why you can't jump. He's the greatest of all time. Stop. Michael Porter Jr., like if someone were to stop him in that press conference, Chris, and say, hello, is this on? Have you ever heard of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Like, can somebody, have you ever heard of Shaquille O'Neal? who won
Well, it would
3
have been
straight
nice for a little
championships.
pushback.
Can we get pushback? Can somebody with reporters' big boy pants on in the press conference stop this lunacy and stop letting people say anything without pushing back? You don't have to be disrespectful. I would have raised my hand, Chris. Michael Porter Jr. Have you ever heard of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? I'll wait.
Well, you think the crowd was full of ex-players, huh?
I mean,
The media was full of
That's why I
ex-players.
said, can somebody in the media put on big boy pants, Chris? Like, for real.
All right, I'm with you on that, obviously. I said that
Right?
before.
Come on. There's got to be
What about him
pushback.
being 7th? Any issues?
No, I'm just saying, like, as great of a run, it takes time. It takes time to move up that ladder. So I don't have a big issue. If you want to say 5, if somebody wants to say, 7, Chris, somebody else wants to say 5. But if they make him 1 or 2 or 3, I got a problem with it.
Right.
I do.
Right. Nah, no doubt about that. But this guy is on, Rob, we talked about it, a historic run. Here's what he's done. This year he had 10 triple doubles in the playoffs. That's a record. Like, he put his name all over the record book during these playoffs. All right. So the most triple doubles in a playoff, more than Russell Westbrook, more than Oscar Robertson, more than Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd, LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain, whoever you want to name, more. He had the first 30-point, 20 rebound, 10 assist triple-double in the history of the NBA Finals. No one else has done it. No one. And Rob, in the playoffs, he had 3 games like that. Let me put that into context. That is one more than every other player in the history of the NBA combined. Wilt did it once, and who was the third? It was Wilt did it once, and Rob G, check that out, who the other player to do it was. A 30-20-10 triple-double. And Rob, we know that Wilt, the numbers that those guys put up in that era, because there weren't as many bigs, because there were way more shots attempted back then. There were roughly 120 shots a game per team attempted at that time. Now there's about 90. So that's 30 more shots per team. That's 60 extra shots, and they shot a lower percentage. So there were a lot more rebounds available. And that's why Russell and Chamberlain and others had such high marks as far as rebounding. But Jokic still, in this day and age, has one more 30-20-10 triple-double than the rest of the players in the history of the NBA. That's crazy.
It is crazy, Chris. It's an ungodly, playoff run that nobody could have imagined seeing those kind of numbers and the things that he did. And give him crazy. Give him credit. Give him a lot of credit.
Yep. And Rob, there's more. Look, in this day and age of the super team, right? Isn't everybody trying to get, even we talk about it now, the Lakers, they trying to get Kyrie. Phoenix, they want Harden or Kyrie. The Sixers want Damian Lillard. Everybody's trying to get a third star, if not a second one. And here he is with no one in his rotation, Rob. No one in the Nuggets rotation has even made an all-star team. Now, Jamal Murray's an all-star caliber player who I imagine will begin to make them now that he has a championship. But Rob, think about that.
That's crazy.
He didn't go and leave and join a super team or anything like that. He just did it with what he had. And then that's a credit to him. Rob G, check that 30-20-10 triple-double. I think the two are Wilt and Kareem, who each did it once. But double check on that if you can. And then, Rob, I think Jokic is the first point center in the history of the game. And Nick Wright, we were talking about it on First Things First, and he brought up Domantas Sabonis. Oh, he's a point center too. And he does play that way. But Paul Pressey was kind of like that too.
Paul Pressey, wow, with the Bucks.
Like a point. It was Kareem and Wilt. I was right about the 30, 20, 10 triple-doubles. They each got one. But Paul Pressey in the playoffs. Paul Pressey did it for the Bucks, but we tend to credit Scottie Pippen as kind of that first point forward because he did it at a much higher level. Jokic is the first point center. And so, Rob, I mean, look, I'm excited. I enjoy watching him play. I think he's a phenomenal passer. I think he's the best passing big man ever. And I really want to watch and see, can this dude keep winning? Rob, you know what I'd like to see, Rob, over the next 5 or so years? And maybe, who knows how good Victor Wembanyama is, right? I mean, if he's that special, maybe he'll throw a monkey wrench in this. But, Rob, I would love to see Giannis and Jokic become like a real rivalry. Like they meet in the finals a few times. Like a Russell Wilt. Like a Magic Bird. Like we won it with Kobe and LeBron and never got. I would love to see these two go at it over the next few years in big-time games like the finals. Because it would be great to see. I mean, these are the two, right now, the two best players in the league for my money. And I'd love to see them settle it on the court, not just in our minds and in our opinions.
Yeah, of course. That would be great. I mean, it's always better when the Titans, Chris, go at each other, and you could say it's like the heavyweight fight. And, you talk about Ali and Foreman 1 or Frazier, 1 and 2 and 3. And when they fought and those kind of battles. And if you do those in the NBA finals, people remember those.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Jokic got him the first year, but then Embiid got him the second year, Chris, and Philly. And then there was a rubber match a couple years later, and Embiid won again, or Jokic won again. Stuff like that.
Rob, think about it. Magic and Bird didn't play each other a lot because they were in different conferences, but they met in the finals. And those are the games we remember. And that they define that era.